Hi, I'm Alistair, the GrumpyCIO, and what am I grumpy about this week? People are bloody inconsistent, like people who say they're going to put videos up on Facebook every week and LinkedIn and Instagram and all these places, and then they don't. Oh, that's me. Thank you to everybody who actually chased me up going, where's been your recent video? We're enjoying those. I was kind of creating and going, does anybody actually watch these? Got some tracking stats, maybe they do, but actually people have said they do. So thank you very much for that. Right, consistency. Do as I say, not as I do, seems to be a mantra for some people in the world. Whereas if people actually did what they say they did, they're probably quite successful. Let's take, for example, good old General Electric. Consistency is the key. Yeah, seen their share price recently, maybe not. Well, I'd actually argue that General Electric is a great example of consistency as being the key. And if they'd actually done what they said to do, what they said they were doing, they'd be fine. But they didn't, and they fell nosedive into the ground. Tilda, that's where we're going. Okay, so General Electric was the absolute darling of the market in the 90s. Jack Welch was the manager of the 20th century, led the sprawling business empire and a conglomerate that people said in a way that wasn't possible from the 80s onwards, did it and made an absolute fortune. And he did it through a method that he said was consistency, winning hearts and minds, turned out to be a bit shonky. What happened? Well, the first thing is, one of the things that he actually said that he should have actually done is be consistent with staff, even in turbulence. So one of the things that he said was to always be consistent in winning hearts and minds of your staff. And always be consistent in what the goals are every year. The goals don't actually change that much every year. You have pivots, you have little jinks as you're tacking along, but even when you're pivoting and tacking along, very important for small businesses, staff still kind of know where the goal is, even if you've kind of done a little bit of a tack as you're going the way there. What you kind of is people like in this picture up here, all shouting at each other, go, worried about their jobs, worries not what's happening. Why would they be worried about their jobs? Well, they actually need to be consistent with themselves. Jack Welch said, I should win the hearts and minds of all my people. Also had this famous 20-70-10 rule. 20% of the people were excellent, 70% of the people were kind of average. Who wants to be called kind of average by your boss? 10% of the people were the bottom and had to go. And he just had a mantra where he just got rid of the bottom 10% of people, without actually considering when they were very good. I lived through one of these experiences in Westpac in 2001, where literally we went through and dropped to the bottom 5% of people, and they just got, people had to go and be graded, and the bottom 5% had to just be cut. Some of them were in teams where there were only 5 people, and they were all really good, and they were doing something really hard. It just absolutely doesn't work. So if you actually did what they said they did to actually be consistent, win hearts and minds of your staff, actually have that overthink, then it's important. There have been a lot of turbulent times this year. Be honest all the way through. It's sometimes really hard. They're hard conversations. Bloody hate them. But like all the way through, actually sit there and actually tell people the bad news, because even when you don't want to. Do your best to do what you say, which probably doesn't involve laying off 250,000 people, which is the amount of people that Jack Welch was famous for having throughout his lifetime. And there's now a book about him having been the darling of the market. He's now the man who gutted and crushed the soul of corporate America, according to David Gels. So if he'd simply done what he said he'd done, they wouldn't have had the problems. You have Kidder and Peabody in the which they were famous for having bought and said, I don't understand the culture of this thing, and they had to write it off basically in 1994, although they did actually make that investment back in 2020 and then some, because they retained a share in the business that they had actually sold it onto. But they said, I don't get investment banking, I don't get this complex financial work which lets you do things we understand. Didn't listen to themselves, let General GE Capital, GECC, go and suck up more of the balance sheet of the business and end up with risky financials. And in 2008 they were exposed completely as being over leveraged and had to actually gut the business in order to survive. Do as you say. Don't be one of these people that are do as they say, don't do as they do, or whatever the way around that goes. Yeah, do as you say you're going to do. And usually you said it for the first reason that it was a good idea. Thank you for watching. I'm Alistair, the GrumpyCIO of Shipshape.vc. We help you find the money you need. We're a free investor search engine. You just come to us. They're investors. They're going to get your business. It's free. Come and log on. Cheers all.